Welcome to day 7. We are ready to animate. Let's go ahead and lock the gears in place, and to do that I'm just going to move these dowel rods slightly up like so, and then go to my constraint options, and we're going to mate the center of the cam, so that plane that cuts it in half, to the center of the dowel rod, and you're going to hear that click again. Okay, and I'm going to press apply. I'm going to do the same with all three. Find the center and the center. And then I'm going to go to this one as well, center to the center, hit apply. Okay, so those are all locked in place. Now we can do the same with the plane for the handle and the plane for the cams, but we're going to just change it from the mate constraint to the angle constraint. So I'm going to go to angle. And since we're only using two different objects, we're going to select solution 1. And then I'm going to click on the plane that cuts it in half on each cam, like this one, to the plane of the handle. You hear that click, and you notice the cam rotated. And if you like how it is, you can hit apply, but if you don't, you can actually adjust the angle, and it will rotate the cam like so. Okay, so let's say I wanted this at 45 degrees. I can press apply, and now that's locked at 45 degrees. That means if I move here, let me ground the box, and you could do the same. If I select the box, notice how the box is selected, nothing else, and I right click, I can ground it. Okay, so now if I move the handle, you notice that the cam moves with it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let's do the same with the other two. Constraint, angle constraint, first solution. And I'm going to go to the plane that cuts the cam in half to the handle. Press apply, and then I'll do the same with the snail cam, the plane that cuts that in half to the handle, and then press apply. Okay, click cancel just to show you that now all three are controlled. And when none of the dowel rods are touching these cams like so, if they are, just move them up. We're now going to lock these so they kind of follow the pathway of the cams. To do that, go to constraint, switch over to what is known as a transitional constraint, and we're going to select the bottom of the cam, or the bottom of the dowel rod, this rounded portion, and then we're going to select the side profile of the cam, and that's because it will follow the side profile when it moves. So I'm going to press apply and do the same with this one. Apply, and I'm going to rotate to the other side and do the same with the snail cam, like so, and press apply. Okay, so now when we rotate this handle, ideally it should be moving them all with it, but you can notice right away that the hexagon cam kind of worked, and now it stopped working, and now everything's kind of messed up. So let's go ahead and unmess that up. We're going to put one more angle constraint on. Constraint, angle, first solution. I'm going to put this plane angled with the front of the box, this edge over here. As you can see, I'm hovering over it. Okay, so I clicked it, it moved it at 0 degrees, and I'm going to press apply. Okay, so because that was the last angle I put at the handle, if I select the handle, it lights up over here on the side. I'm going to open that up and go down to the last angle for it, which is this one, because it's the last angle I put. I know this is what controls it. I'm going to right click on it and go to drive. Okay, so I'm going to select drive. For the end position, I'm going to adjust it from 10 to 10,000. And then if you hit the play button, you'll notice that it automatically moves. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and press cancel for a second. So let's get these cams back up so that they fit. So you should be able to kind of select them and move them up. If you don't, like this one, we'll probably have to fix that. But I could get those two to move up. For this one, I'm just going to kind of select the cam or the dowel rod, find it over here because it's lit up. And I'm going to delete that transitional constraint. So right click and delete. And I'm going to move this one back up. Okay, up here. And now I'm going to just put on that transitional constraint again. So the bottom to the side and press apply. Okay, so now that that's back on, I'm not going to crank it again because if I crank it again, it might mess that up. But I can go to the angle constraint, that I know drives it for the handlebar, right click on it, go to drive, and then hit play, and you'll notice right away it controls it. Okay, so depending on how it's set up, it will adjust how it moves in the program. Okay, I'm going to press OK. And now that we're done with all these planes, if you want, you can double click on each part, and you could just like right click on the plane then and turn off the visibility, and then like click the return button up here. And you could do the same with all these parts. So you could turn off these planes so it looks more professional. And then I'll return, and then I can now go back to angle 4, drive it, press play, and now everything looks a lot nicer. Okay. Before you wrap up, I do recommend just kind of using your color tool and adding some color to this to make it look nicer and more realistic. But you pretty much have it at this point, so just once you got it, save it. You'll be adding it to your website later, so just make it look nice, and we'll move from there. Okay, so that's going to conclude day 7, and the rest of it's in real life, so you'll be building that in class, and if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this is Mr. Z signing out. Peace.